Hello and welcome to my first video. I thought for this video I would, it is the last weekend of December and I know we're all kind of in the spirit or in the mindset of preparing for the new year. And that is kind of what I am doing as well this weekend. So I figured that would be the point of this video, kind of like a new year reset, what I'm doing to just get started on the right foot with the new year. And with this whole new venture of a YouTube channel and continuing my blog that has been neglected for some time. So I did kind of create a list. It wouldn't be a Vicky video if there wasn't a list involved, but I did kind of create a list of things that I'm hoping to accomplish on this video and just in general when I'm thinking about New Year, what I'm wanting to do. So I have my little handy dandy list that I wrote down on paper because I also am old school and like to do pen and paper for really anything. So one of the things that I want to do is, let's see, what do I want to start with? I have a couple things here. We'll go ahead and I'm probably like the easiest and quickest is updating our new calendar. So Sergio and I do like to have a paper calendar. Again, we are pen and paper people. And so we have our new calendar and I just want to go ahead and add in some key dates in there, like birthdays of our parents, because I am so bad about remembering birth dates. So at least of our parents, I kind of rely on Facebook when it comes to like friends' birthdays and so forth. And I usually send a text. I'm not a big like active person on Facebook, but I do like to send texts. So I usually will rely on Facebook to remind me of somebody's birthday if I've forgotten. So anyways, have our new wall calendar that I really like. And I got this from Barnes & Noble. So I purchased one at Barnes & Noble. Typically, I like to buy calendars or like even planners and so forth, like at Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. Usually find the cutest stuff there for a good price. But I was not able to find, at least when I was looking, I wasn't able to find calendars. And these days, I don't really go out to stores as often as I used to. So it's possible that they came at some point, or maybe they're there now and I just haven't had a chance to go look. Anyways, so we have this, it'll be hanging up in our kitchen, and our kitchen is very much black and white. So it was kind of a good option. So I'm going to go through and try to remember some of the birthdays and go ahead and fill those in. And then, you know, like perhaps like an anniversary, which I kind of have that memorized already, but I'll go ahead and fill that out to get us started. So. So I did the majority of the birthdays that I can remember. There are some birthdays that I'm gonna need Sergio to remind me, and I'll add them in there. But I have that done, so I can go ahead and make sure that this is hung up. What's going on, but it works well for us. We're paper people. Anyways, all right. So I've updated the new calendar so I can mark that off. I don't know if anybody else gets the same satisfaction as I do when it comes to just checking something off of a list. It's so great. It's such a high. The next thing that I want to do is, let's see. I think I'm going to work on my vision board. So I think for the past, maybe like past, oh gosh, it's probably even longer because I feel like between 2020 and like 2022 is like a blur. So it might have been even longer. So maybe the past like 6 or 7 years, I've always loved to start the new year by creating like a vision board. They have kind of taken different types of shapes and sizes. There have been times where I've done it like on a huge like bulletin board that I've had in my office. Other times it's been electronic. I'm not a big fan of the electronic. Again, if it's not like physical for whatever reason, it's like out of sight, out of mind at times for me. I've done vision board like parties with friends that I've always enjoyed those, and I wish I could do that now, but alas, I'm here solo, so I will just kind of do it here. But if you are one that does do a vision board, please send me pictures of what yours look like, because then I feel like I'm doing it with other people. Anyway, so I decided this year that I wanted to do not necessarily like a vision board like on a big bulletin board or anything, because in reality I'm not necessarily going to be at my desk as much, or at least I think I'm not going to be at my desk as much as I have been in the past. So I decided that instead I'm going to do my vision board, if you will, in my notebook, which I got this notebook from Target. It's so cute. Any excuse to buy a new notebook is what I do. So anyways, I bought this notebook a little earlier, a couple weeks ago, and I just started using it to just jot down notes, like things that come into my head, write it down, just so that I could either make sure I remember to do it, or just like even ideas that I've been putting together for blog posts or YouTube videos, etc. So I figured that I would use like this first main page here to create my vision board, so that way every time I am opening up this notebook, which I would imagine will be regularly, I'll have that at the front page, and it's kind of like top of mind. I think the key thing to creating vision boards, obviously there's the whole right way to create goals and so forth, but I think having it in a place where you're going to see often is what's going to make it most useful, because if it's put somewhere that you're never going to look at, it's going to kind of defeat the purpose. So I figured this hopefully will work for me. And what I basically did was I went onto Pinterest, and I actually created a vision board, like pin board on Pinterest, and I just started pinning a whole bunch of images and quotes and so forth that I felt resonated with what I hope to kind of focus on for this year. And then I went and just printed a whole bunch, and you'll kind of see it either has like the obvious things that I want to do, but then there's also like a color scheme, because it wouldn't be something that Vicki does if it didn't have like a color scheme that goes well with my notebook. So that's pretty much what I did. And my thought is I'm just going to cut some of these images and put them into my board. A lot of my, I guess, just kind of share what some of my images around here is. My priority and biggest focus for 2024 is my baby boy, Sebastian, and just the family that we've created. And so really prioritizing motherhood, prioritizing family is going to be what's most important to me for 2024. In addition to that, building community. So I think most of you know, or at least some of you know, that we moved to North Carolina back in 2019. It was quite the dream for me to be able to move to North Carolina, or just move away from Florida and into a place where it was less crowded, more changes in climate. So we had the 4 seasons and so forth. And so it was wonderful. We got to move over here. Unfortunately, it was right before the whole pandemic happened and everything kind of shut down. And so we have been here for quite some time, and we've been here for quite some time. We really don't have much of a community or friends. We do have my parents that live here, but that's really about it. A bit of that is because of the pandemic and everything kind of shut it down. A bit of that is because Sergio and I are both homebodies, and we really just enjoy each other's company. And so we've never, it would take more effort to try to build community than it is just to kind of be with ourselves. But now with Sebastian, it's really important to us really, that we do create community over here, because we don't want him to be homebodies like us. We want to make sure that we have friends and just a good group of people that either Sergio and I can, kind of spend time with, but also for Sebastian to have a support system here, because it is really important. So community is something else that I'm really going to work on for this year. Those are probably two very important things for me this year. There are some other things that are kind of like sprinkled in there, of course, you know, taking care of myself physically and spiritually, all those things. So that's kind of where my vision board for this year is going to really focus on. So I'm gonna get started. I went ahead and brought down my scissors. I'm thinking that for actually kind of like adhesive, I have this double-sided tape. I feel like that'll be less messy, but I did bring glue in case the tape doesn't work. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of get started on that. So I'm back. That probably took me a little bit longer than I anticipated it would take, but it should be no surprise because I'm a perfectionist and I tried getting everything into one page and it didn't quite work out. So I ended up using the full 2 sides. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to actually write out some of the goals, I guess you can say, or just kind of write some notes as to like some of these areas and what I'm really wanting to focus on for the year. I've always heard, and I think others have probably heard this, it's so important to write down your goals, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So I think I'm going to write them down. I'll do that another time because that's a whole other process. I also ended up using glue stick because I did do the tape with this one. And I just feel like, it's gonna lift over time and that's gonna drive me insane. So for all the other ones, I just used glue stick and it wasn't too messy. So I'll add to that, but I like how it turned out. I don't know, just like the pictures just make me happy and the color scheme makes me happy. So I will finish that another day or another time, but at least have that started and kind of know what my goals are and what I'm envisioning, I guess. I'll just add to it. All right, so we can go ahead and mark that off. I have 2 other things that I have on my mind to do. I think one of them is going to be meal planning. So we have always done meal planning. Typically on Sundays is when Sergio will do grocery shopping. I'm not necessarily allowed to do grocery shopping because items always end up in our cart that's not on the list. But it's fine. It's not necessarily my favorite thing to do either. So Sergio loves to go down every single one of the aisles. I don't. And that's mainly because I go down aisles, I start grabbing things that I don't need, but it just either looks appetizing or I see buy one, get one free. And I'm like, why would I not take advantage of that even though I don't need it? So he does the grocery shopping, but I do typically prepare at least like the menu of what we're going to eat. And then he'll look for the ingredients, add them to the list, and then he does the actual groceries and he does the actual cooking of said meals. That is not my forte, and it will just keep it that way. So for the new year, I would say for the most part, we pretty much eat pretty well when it comes to like the planned meals. Typically where we go not so great, and when I say we, it's usually me that is the problem. Hi, it's me, I'm the problem, is the snacking part. That's where, I get like a sweet tooth, and I typically in the past probably would have hesitated to jump in my car and run over to the nearest bakery and buy some type of baked good. And as if that wasn't bad enough, I will buy baked goods enough for like a family of 10 when we're just the 2 of us. Won't be doing that, or at least we'll pause on that for a little bit. But anyways, the most part, we do eat pretty well. We do have good healthy habits when it comes to our eating. Of course, now with the holidays having just passed those, there was a lot of eating. There was a lot of living it up, I think, even for myself, because I just had the baby in August. Still working on losing some of the weight, but I was also like, I'm not gonna be so hard on myself because we've got holidays and I'm just not sacrificing the holidays. Like, I'm gonna enjoy myself. So enjoy myself I did, but I obviously want to get a little bit better, just be a little bit better with my eating. And I typically like to start the first week of January, the first week of the new year, with just like get myself on the right foot when it comes to the eating and making better choices. Typically, I'm kind of miserable that first week, but it at least gets me off on the right start. And like I said, we, for the most part, don't really eat too bad, so it's not like a huge hurdle. I guess what I will do, and this is kind of like our notebook, and as you'll see, I mean, that's where we do write our grocery list, and sometimes I'll write the meals on here, or sometimes I'll just text it to Sergio. I think that for purposes of this video, I'm going to write the meals here. And we try to prepare at least 4 meals, and then, you know, we'll have like a meal or 2 out. We don't really eat out as much now as we did before, because it's just not as easy with a baby. I think once he's a little bit older, once we get a little bit more comfortable, maybe we'll eat out a little bit more, but we eat at home, and it's totally fine. Food is typically delicious. So let me pull up, and this, I probably should have had this before, but I will pull up my Pinterest board. And that's where I have a lot of my meals. I'll get a lot of my meal ideas from there. So let me get that up. Another fun fact about myself is I can never remember passwords. I am horrible at it. So I have a handy dandy sheet that has all my passwords so that I know how to log into my accounts. So. Okay, and we're back. So as you can tell, it is the next day. I was experiencing some technical issues with the ring light that I was trying to use yesterday. Can't figure out, don't know what's going on. It'll start working and then it kind of dies out after like 2 minutes. And so I decided just to hold off till today, because yesterday was a little bit gloomy, so I definitely needed the light. It's not so gloomy, so I think the lighting is a little bit better, but we'll just continue on until I can figure out the whole light situation. I know that I had left off with starting the meal planning for this week. And so I did finish that. I pulled some items or recipes from Pinterest, and I wrote down the ingredients that we would need. And primarily I got 4 meals, and then I also got some lunch ideas. That's typically where we do struggle, is with lunch. And just kind of having some good options. What I end up doing is not doing such great things, or kind of high carb, where it's like chips, sandwiches, and so forth. So this time I made sure to have some options that are a little bit more low carb, and just healthier in general. So done that, still need to add like some of the normal essentials that we would add, like milk and so forth. But at least the ingredients for the meals is done. So I've marked that off my list. And then the other thing that I wanted to accomplish, and hopefully it can help me be a little bit more consistent in the posting of like YouTube and my blog, is just creating a schedule for myself. So I just basically went and printed off like a January calendar, blank calendar from something that I found on Google. And I penciled in just some of the ideas that I have and when I plan to or hope to post them. My goal is to post videos on Mondays, because I would have the weekend to at least record, edit, etc. And then do blog posts on Wednesdays and Fridays. So hopefully that works out. Hopefully I can kind of keep that schedule, but I'll adjust if I need to. I already had a couple ideas from like a YouTube standpoint that I want to record. So I've got those written down. As far as blog posts, I have some thoughts, but I don't have as many topics. So here's my request for you. If you have any ideas on videos that you want to see, or even like blog posts or things that you like to see from other people, other, I guess, content creators, send those my way, share those with me. you know, specifically in the realm of like home decor, home organization. That's really what I would like to focus this, the content to be on. So send them my way. I'll continue to kind of brainstorm on some topics, but I at least have that started, and I think it'll help me just organize myself, and like I said, be a little bit more consistent with the posting, because it can get to be a little bit overwhelming when I don't have like a game plan in mind. So that, my friends and fam, is really kind of the wrap up of this first video. Hopefully it all makes sense once I actually put everything together. And hopefully you found this helpful or somewhat inspirational, or something that you can kind of take away for this new year. I hope that you all have had a wonderful New Year's Eve and are going to have a wonderful year, start of the year. And yeah, I will continue to work on this, and hope to just continue to share with you all and hear from you all as well. So that is about it. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.